Hello football fans, and welcome to another episode of Off The Woodwork TV. In this episode, we've compiled a rather shameful list of players who made some bizarre transfers throughout their career. We've decided to go with a 4-4-2, so let's kick off and name our starting 11. Starting goal with former Scotland international Andy Goran after he made a weird transfer to Manchester United in 2001 from Motherwell. At the time, Goran was 37 and made a nightmare debut against Coventry. We're not really sure what United were thinking with that one, given that they offloaded him to Hamilton after just 2 appearances. Now that's surely enough to give him the number 1 jersey in our team of misfits. Sorry, Andy. Julian Faubert comes in at left back after his loan switch from West Ham to Real Madrid in 2009. As you'd expect, he had a disastrous 5 months at the Bernabeu. To cap his spell off, he even fell asleep in a game against Villarreal while he was sitting on the bench. Take a look at this. At centre back, we've gone with Jonathan Woodgate. Good old Woody got the dream move when Madrid came in for him in 2004 and signed him from Newcastle for a whopping 13 million. Woodgate well deserved his move to Real at the time. However, after a long spell out injured, he made his debut in perhaps the most hilarious fashion ever. Woodgate scored one of the most disastrous own goals of all time and was then given his marching orders after 65 minutes when he picked up 2 yellow cards. Did I mention he was brought on as a sub? I mean, you might be surprised to see one of England's greats in our list, but sitting next to Woodgate in defence is Solskjaer Jeremiah Campbell, and here's why. In 2009, Campbell's contract expired at Pompey, so he decided to drop 3 divisions to Notts County and sign there under Sven-Göran Eriksson. Sol made his debut on the 19th of September against Morecambe, but then walked out of the club, cancelling his contract just 3 days after. Next up is Pascal Chimbonda at right back. Chimbonda had a pretty decent career at Spurs and Wigan and even managed to get a spot on the bench in the 2006 World Cup final for France. However, his career took a drastic turn for the worst when he left Doncaster in 2012 and signed for non-league side Market Drayton. Fortunately, Pascal miraculously pulled off a move back to the Football League with League One strugglers Carlisle, where he remains to this day. On to the midfield then. Now for the centre midfield. First up is Dutch icon Edgar Davids following his head-scratching move to Barnet. Davids ended up featuring as a kind of player coach and famously made it known that he absolutely hated travelling north of Watford when he actually refused to get onto the team bus for a game they had in Gateshead one time. At the start of the 2013-14 season, David was booked in 8 of the first league games that he started for the club, getting sent off in 3 of them. Edgar, you poor sport. Spanish teenager Carolina Dominguez partners Edgar Davids in centre midfield. Dominguez labelled himself as the next Iniesta after a few games for Barcelona's B team and rubber-stamped those claims the day he signed for Partick Thistle in Scotland on a free transfer in 2013. At left midfield is the king of controversy, El Hadj Diouf. In 2011, Diouf signed to Doncaster as they fought to stay in the Championship, but then strangely signed for Leeds under Neil Warnock. Nothing weird about that, of course, apart from the fact that Warnock labelled Duff as lower than a sewer rat and made claims that he would never sign such a player. Claudio Caniggia is our right midfield man. This Argentine even played with Diego Maradona. But Caniggia made the move from Boca Juniors to Dundee in 2000. He was obviously using it as a career stepping stone though, because he left within a year and signed for the mighty Rangers. Now for the front two, and we're going with Francis Jeffers. Jeffers was really highly rated at Everton and moved to Arsenal in 2001. He even managed to snag a cap for England. Jeffers has now had 2 glamorous spells in Australia with the Newcastle Jets. However, at 32, he's still clearly got time to live up to his potential, given that he's gearing up for a move to Singapore with the Ladyboys. The final spot in our 11 goes to the man, the legend, Fabrizio Ravanelli.
Six final categories. You must answer all 6 questions.
Fab made the move from Juventus to Borough in 1996 after he just scored in the Champions League final against Ajax. This move took all Borough fans by surprise, and that season he, Juninho and co lit up the Riverside. Ravanelli, shows your belly. Anyway, that's it for this episode of Off The Woodwork TV. Join us next time, and long may the bizarreness in football transfers continue.